Christmas Day, we have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers, a clash of the top teams in the AFC. AQ, get us set for Christmas Day. What are your thoughts on this game?
It's going to be interesting because, they're 14-1. They can rest their guys if they want. I saw Chris Jones, DJ Humphries did not practice, which is also crazy seeing an injury report on a Sunday, right? I saw that today. It got released today on a Sunday. But listen, these two teams are two of the best in football, right? And you just got to wonder how Pittsburgh is too, because they just got beat up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Their defense is beat up. I just saw Joey Porter's probably going to be out. They got 6 or 7 guys that are probably going to be out. TJ Watt's banged up. You got a bunch of guys. So this game could have, should have, would have been fantastic, but it might not. So it'll be very interesting to see if the guys play. This is going to be a knock 'em, sock 'em, drag it out type of football game, and it's going to be fun to watch because Patrick Mahomes proved that he's Superman with a high ankle sprain and running for touchdowns.
Yeah, it seems like every year Patrick Mahomes has this air quote catastrophic injury, and then he just shows up the next day. Colt, in terms of where Patrick Mahomes ranks in all-time quarterback greats, he's won the biggest games. He's having the great seasons. Where does he rank all-time in quarterback?
Yeah, that's a tough question. But, yeah, listen, Patrick Mahomes is like Gumby. Dude, he falls, he gets hit. He puts the team on his back every week. What he's done this year is nothing short of incredible. Just figuring out ways to win every week. And playing through injuries, playing not only for himself, but look at his receiving core has been decimated. They haven't been great up front on the offensive line. He knows they have a good defense, so he's not turning the ball over that much. He's unbelievable. Listen, I know Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls, but for me and for watching quarterbacks all throughout my career, there's nobody that's done it better than Patrick Mahomes, and you just look at different ways to win. He's well coached. They always have something good. Chris Jones is a stud. Their defense plays good all the time, so he's leaning on that. There's been times in his career where they've had to outscore people. He's been able to do that. So I just think for what he brings to the Chiefs, like they are not the same without him. They wouldn't be the Chiefs without him. He's one of the best all time. And eventually he may have 7 Super Bowls to show for it. Who knows? But if that's how you rank it, obviously, Tom Brady's the best. But when you look at the qualities of what Patrick Mahomes brings to the table, how he plays the game, his competitive juice, his spirit, fighting through injuries, willing himself out on there to make sure the Chiefs win. And look at this season they've had this year. Everybody calls it a fluke. It's not a fluke, man. They got number 15 back there, who's a baller, who just figures out ways to win every week, and you can't take that away. That's a special thing.
So is he 2? Is he 3? Gruden, I'll let you get involved in this conversation here in a minute. But if we're saying Brady's won with the 7 Super Bowls, is Mahomes 2, 3, 4?
Dude, there's been so many good quarterbacks. And I talk about just from my time, but think about, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, all these guys won Super Bowls. Well, Patrick Mahomes has won Super Bowls too, and he's just figured out a way to be consistently great. And sometimes if you look at stats, it may not be perfect, but when you watch him play, you can't tell me that there's anybody that's played better than him over the last 5, 6, 7 years, especially early in his career. It's unbelievable.
So you're not gonna give me you're not gonna give me your top 3. You just this is the quarterback club shining through. You can't. Is Mahomes in the top 3 of all time right now? Just answer that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Jay,
sure.
Is he 2? Is he 3?
Who cares, Justin? I just tell you this: if Patrick Mahomes is on my team, I would feel good about beating any team with any other quarterback in the history of the league. How's that for you? That make you feel better?
Well,
now, if I had Brady, I'd feel good too.
I wanted to rank it.
I'd feel good too. These are all great players.
What are you, a politician? You spent too much time in D.C. or just you guys?
You can't say he's better than Brady yet. You can't say he's better than Montana yet.
Okay, so then we're starting to get somewhere.
He's still got a lot of time left to prove his greatness. Doubt. He's already proved that he's great, but the greatness takes a little bit of time, my friend.
Okay, so we're still letting him marinate a little bit. He's not there yet. I was just trying to get something out of you two, all right? I just want something. This quarterback club is hard to penetrate. What I want to talk about next with you, Jay, is the pros and cons of these two teams as we head into the playoffs. They obviously are winning games for a reason, but once they get into the playoffs, what's their biggest strength? And what's one or two things that might trip one of these teams up in the playoffs? Starting with the Chiefs first.
I think the Chiefs' biggest strength, other than Patrick, is their ability to keep drives alive. They're number one in the National Football League in third down conversion rate. Converting. That means they keep drives alive. They possess the football. They don't turn the ball over much. They eat up the clock. So that's what their strength is. And then, of course, when their defense is fresh, they play incredible defense and they play good special teams. So they don't have a really weakness other than the fact that, maybe he doesn't have enough weapons. But now that Hollywood Brown's back, Pacheco's back, obviously Kelsey is going to be Kelsey. I think it'll all start to come together. They're going to get better as opposed to getting worse come playoff time. That's a scary part about the Chiefs. I don't think we've seen the Chiefs' best football. Now, the Steelers are very similar. They have to rely on ball control, short passes, an occasional bomb to Pickens if he ever comes back. Austin had some good plays last week and played great defense and possessed the football. So they both have a very similar approach to the game. It's just a matter of who can get off the field on defense on third down and create some turnovers. That's the big thing. But it's very hard to get turnovers against the Chiefs. Patrick is very smart with the football. He protects it. Andy Reid always has a good game plan. He's not going to put Patrick in harm's way very often. And he just makes great decisions for him. So very similar teams. But I think right now, Kansas City, with the way they play offense, defense, and special teams and situational football, they got the edge for sure. That's no secret.
Well, the one area that I think the Pittsburgh Steelers always talk about this year has been the quarterbacks, AQ. We had Justin Fields to start the season. Russell Wilson came in. He's led them on this run. They tripped up this last week. But what can they do to get Justin Fields back involved in this offense? Is it trying to get him more involved in the run game? Is it a third down package? I know he's been a little banged up. He might not be playing in this one. But is he someone that you want to get more involved? Because they're looking for a spark on offense and can't quite seem to find it yet.
You got to pick one, right? Like, we're trying to make the playoffs. This isn't a two-platoon college system, in my opinion. Like, you might have a package here, give them 10 plays. You might have a package in the red zone or the goal line. There's certain situations, short yardage, third down, all the situational football stuff that Gruden talks about. You might have a play or two involved with them, but at the end of the day, it's Russell's team now. Russell's proven that they do better with him. They get the ball down the field more with him. They complete more passes. They control the clock more. The issue is the last 2 weeks that the area of the football team that they have relied on to keep them in games and then steal a possession and win games is their defense. They gave up a 10-minute and 39-second 23-play drive in the fourth quarter and didn't get the ball back for their offense to lose to the Eagles, and then gave up 170 yards on the ground to Derrick Henry, over 200 yards to the whole team on the Ravens. So 2 straight weeks where this defense has let this team down. Offensively, they've done what they've always done. It's just they've been better on defense. In the last 2 weeks, the defense didn't get the ball back, and then last week they got beat up towards the end of the game and gave up too much rushing yards, and that is why they're losing football games right now.
Yeah, I don't know if Justin Fields can come in and make that big of a difference, but a guy that could is probably George Pickens. They're missing that moonshot. And what we are missing on this channel is you subscribing at home. So right now, hit that subscribe button. It's the holiday season, and what's better than getting to 20,000 subscribers? So hit subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment in there. Let us know what your favorite holiday tradition is, what your favorite Christmas movie is, and just keep supporting this channel because we are growing as we speak. Let's get back into football. Jay, we talked about Mahomes. We always talk about Kelsey and how great they all are, but this Kansas City defense is legit. They are 4th in scoring defense in the NFL. What do you like about this unit? What is something that maybe everyone at home might not know about this Chiefs defense and Steve Spagnuolo?
They're a great tackling group. They don't miss a lot of tackles. They stop the run extremely well, and then you're forced to throw it. And Spags has a great blitz package, and they have coverage corners, McDuffie and others that can cover you on man-to-man. So they have a great package that they can play zone and Fulia with Spags' different disguises. And then when it comes time to make a play, they can play tight man-to-man and get on you. And, of course, they got a good enough pass rush to get home. So I don't know what their weakness is. You like to think that, hey, we can run the ball against them, not consistently. Hey, we can drop back and throw it 45 times. I don't think you want to do that. I think the key is to be balanced, obviously, hit some play actions on first, second down, and try to figure out a way to get some chunk plays against them, because that's been the area that teams have had trouble with, is getting chunk yardage. And when you try to drive the ball 15 plays and 80 yards against that defense, you're bound to screw up one time or another, or they're going to make a play, either one.
And obviously this game is being played on Christmas Day. Before we get into the picks and who you think is going to win, from the Clean Pocket crew, we want to wish you all a happy holidays. And I know all of us, we're used to working on Christmas. Some of us playing on Christmas. Colt, is there a Christmas story around football or playing on Christmas that may stick out to you?
Yeah, I'm chuckling. Yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. Yeah. I remember when I was in Arizona, the punter got hurt. And so Coach Rogers came to me, and it was a short week, played on Christmas Day. He was like, "Hey man, you might have to hold this week." And I'm thinking like, okay, that's fine. I held in practice most of my career, but never really in a game, a few times like preseason, whatever. So I'm like, okay, but he was like, "Don't worry, we're going to sign a punter if we need to end of the week that should be able to hold in the game, but let's practice all week." So all week long, I'm holding. It's perfect. Long snappers just like throwing me the laces every time, just setting it down, and we're pretty dialed. I mean, we didn't miss any kicks all week, so we get into the game. Prater comes up to me and is like, "Hey man, I know Rogers talked about the punter we signed being able to hold in the game." He said, "But I didn't miss all week, and I think I'd feel more comfortable if you held for me during the game." I'm thinking like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I mean, I will, but like, this is not my deal, So then I had to get dressed early, go out with the specialist, 30 minutes before everybody else gets dressed and comes out on the field. I'm holding. He hits all of them in pregame warmups, and he's like, "Yeah, we're good." Prater's like, "Yeah, man, just everything you've been doing." He didn't teach me. He didn't coach me. He didn't tell me I want it vertical or leaning back. He was like, "Dude, you've been doing it perfect. Just do that the whole game. We'll be fine. Don't even think about it." I'm like, "Okay, that's great." First drive of the game, we march down, don't convert on third down. We're kicking it. Jeff Rogers says field goal, so we run out there. I get my spot. I'm down. I stick my hand out. I grab it, and the ball comes back wobbly, and Lace is like facing me. It was like I had not had this snap ever. Like every snap in practice and on the sidelines was like perfect. So he snapped it to me. I set it down. And the Laces are facing Prater, and I try to like spin them just a little bit, and he pulls it. We missed the field goal. So I come off, and I'm like, "Dude, I put it down just like I've been doing it all week long." Like, he's like, "No, you're good. He threw you a bad snap. Don't worry about it. It's not, I'm good. Like, we're good." Okay. So I'm like, "All right." Rogers like, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't know. I did exactly what I always do. Just put the ball down." And so fast forward again, we get in a field goal situation. Rogers says field goal. We go back out there again. And he fires back the snap. I catch it. I put it down. And now the Laces aren't facing Prater. They're facing like away. So he's not hitting the Laces. They're and I try to turn it, but like I haven't had practice turning Laces. He's giving me the perfect snap all week long. And so Prater hits it off the upright. And we come off the sideline, and Rogers like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like I'm just doing what I've been doing all week." So Prater comes over to me and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I think I'm going to go with the new punter to hold next time." I'm like, "Okay, that's great by me." And the new punter comes over here. He's like, "Dude, no, I'm not going out there. I think you should do it." Prater came to me and wants me to hold. I'm like, "Dude, no, you hold. You've been holding your whole life. You're better at this than I am. Like, we're going to need a field goal to win the game." And so we make the switch. The punter goes out there. He holds. Prater yanks it again. I'm like, I go to the far end of the sideline. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm like, this specialist stuff is not for me. I'm a quarterback. Like, I'll come in if like I need to for an emergency and hold the snap. I can put it down, whatever. But I'm not going to get involved in the drama, in just the whole world of how fast you put it down, laces. And so it's not like a favorite Christmas memory of mine. But when looking back at it now, I'm like, why in the world did I like let Prater convince me that I'm going to go out on the field and hold these series, like we need these field goals, and it was a mess. But after the game, Prater was great about it. He was like, "Dude, you did awesome. Don't worry about it. Like you never even had the opportunity to like work on, because all the snaps were perfect." Anyways, long story short, we lose to the Colts on Christmas Day, but we still make the playoffs. And when I think about that, The other thing I think about is we used to tell my kids on Christmas Day that Christmas was on the 26th, not the 25th, because Santa Claus was always at the Christmas Day games. So when my kids came and sat in the bleachers and they saw Santa, they would tell Rachel, my wife, like, there's Santa. Like, he's here at the game. That means he's going to come to our house tonight. We get to have Christmas tomorrow. They had no idea that Christmas wasn't on the 25th. It was on the 26th. It was a little deal we did because we played on Christmas Day like 3 times. And so anyways, Christmas Day games are fun. I wish I would have held better for Prater, my boy, but it is what it is.
Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.
Yeah, it seems like you might have got a little coal on that Christmas there. But Prater, we love you, kicker specialist. You guys are batshit crazy, but we still love you. AQ, do you have any good Christmas Day stories?
Never played on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve a few times, but a non-football story was my current wife, who we first started dating. And we were maybe together like a month or two, and she comes out, she spends, Christmas with me. So I think we had the morning off, and then we had to go in at 10 a.m. or something for practice. And I started on the big green egg. I started our turkey, right? I get the turkey ready. I get it set to 225. I'm ready to smoke this thing. We're good. I leave. I come out of practice, and I have like 25 missed calls from her. And I'm like, what happened? What happened? So I call her. I'm like, we good? She said, I don't know if we're going to be eating that turkey. I said, what happened? She said, I came out. It was 650 degrees. Flames were everywhere. This thing turned into the Griswold-style turkey. This thing was burnt to a crisp, dry as hell. Boston Market for the win, boys. Boston Market for the win.
Oh, I love Boston Market.
Shout out to Boston Market. I will say one thing. If you drive by AQ Shipley's house right now, he has the Griswold lights in front of his house. There is not a square foot of space left without an inflatable, without arches. Right. AQ house in Arizona, I don't know, even want to know what his electric bill is right now. Gruden, I'm saving the best for last, man. I know you have something for us on Christmas.
I'm like the Scrooge. Never gave any presents. Just, I got nothing.
All right, moving on. So my favorite tradition was we did this thing called a white elephant, where the whole offensive line, all 15 of us, would bring a gift in. You had to spend like a certain amount, so everyone knew like the dollar amount would be there. And we played a game where the youngest would go, typically a rookie. The next guy could either steal that gift or pick one out of the pile. And we would do that all the way. And I bought this gift one time. It was called a Bartesian. It was like an espresso for mixed drinks. You'd put like a little vodka, a little mixed drink in there, and you make your mixed drink. I thought it was an amazing idea. Patrick Peterson in the locker room was actually an investor in this company, so he vouched for it. I bring it in, and one of our guys, one of our former teammates, J.R. Sweezy, gets the gift. He absolutely hates it. He's like, this is the worst Christmas gift I've ever gotten in my entire life. I was an epic failure. They made fun of me for the Bartesian for the rest of the season. I ended up buying it back from him and just giving him the cash. And I'm like, you know what? Screw you, Sweezy. So Sweezy, if you're out there, you ruined my white elephant. But that's always a great memory. The guys have a fun time. We make fun of one another. One of my best parts about it.
What was the best Christmas gift you Lineman received from the quarterback in your days?
Ooh, so quarterbacks always get gifts. Brock Purdy was giving out Toyota Tundras the other day. I thought that was pretty good. Last year, the New York Giants, because we had so many quarterbacks play, they all came together to give us a gift. They gave us a voucher for 2 first-class tickets anywhere in the world. I think Saquon was involved in that and some of the other running backs. So that was a pretty good gift we got last year.
Yeah,
I mean,
for me,
you played for Brady, right?
Yeah, so I got 2 years in a row of IWC watches since he's got a nice little sponsorship with them. So 2 years in a row of IWC watches from Brady. Those were always good ones. Carson Palmer got us custom Lucchese boots one year. That was a nice one. Kyler Murray did the fat scooters.
Ooh, he also did golf clubs for us one time.
Yeah, so I've had some good gifts from quarterbacks.
My first 2 years in the NFL, I remember my agent called me. I had no idea. I was playing for the Browns, and he was like, "Hey, you need to get your offensive lineman a gift." I'm like, "Okay, well, what do I do?" He was like, "I don't know. What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't. This is new to me." So the first year, I gave everybody just like that, a pair of brand new boots, and it was all I'm a rookie, but the offensive line were veteran guys. They were great. I mean, they all had 3 or 4 kids. They've been married for a long time. They're in their 30s. It was fun. And then the second year, I all got them XL Big Green Eggs. And so I kid you not, every year around Christmas time, those guys who are now like in their, I don't know, mid 40s, like older guys, they'll send me a picture of them in their cowboy boots with the Big Green Egg open, cooking steaks. So I'm like, this is great, man. Send this to me every year. It makes me happy. So the giving gifts in the NFL part, this time of year, Christmas, you're around everybody all year long. It's your boys. That's all. I always look forward to that. That's a fun time.
A fun time. All right, now before we move on, Scrooge, Jay, I'll let you get back to football and talk about something that'll make your eyes light up a little bit. Who do we have winning in this game? Kansas City Chiefs or the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, you said it right. Being this game is going to happen so fast. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be sitting out possibly. I think it means more to the Steelers. They're battling for that AFC North still. They got to win to keep pace with Baltimore. Kansas City's got a little bit of they always play hard. I just still got to take Kansas City. They're the better team. I think Pittsburgh's still trying to find a way with their offense. They've done some better things. They're getting better and better. But they still got to figure out ways to get the ball down the field a little bit. And hopefully George Pickens is going to be that remedy.
AQ?
I think the Chiefs are going to win this. I think they're the better team. I think there's still urgency with this Chiefs team because I just saw it pop up on my phone that the Buffalo Bills just won. And they got to keep winning. The Chiefs got to keep winning because I think this 1 seed is going to be huge in the AFC this year. Because if it goes through Kansas City, watch out. If it goes through Buffalo, watch out, right? So it's going to be one of those things where you're going to have to keep your guys rolling through the end, I think, on this one. And because of that, and because the Steelers playing the Eagles, playing the Ravens in back-to-back weeks are beat up, they're getting a beat-down Steelers defense. TJ Watt's a little banged up. They're banged up across. All their DBs are out. Kansas City.
Colt?
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs, man. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. Number 15. He's a baller. He's a stud. These guys are just good. They found ways to win all year. I know that going up to Pittsburgh, it's a hard place to play. The Steelers need a win. They're battling. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs are just a better football team. And they're led by one of the best of all time. And like we said earlier in the show, I think they're getting healthier, right? I know Patrick's banged up, but they got a few receivers back. Pacheco's back. He's playing a little bit better. They need to win, and they're the better football team. And it's probably going to be a close game. It's going to be cold. I get all that, but I think the Chiefs come out on top.
No, I agree. I think it's the Chiefs. Do we actually know what we did last week? Do we have our records? Maybe we'll circle back to that on the next segment. We'll get our records because I think Jay, we talked him into somehow getting a win on Thursday Night Football last week. So Gruden's taking a healthy lead.